Let's get straight into our Friday night panel. Gemma Tognini from GT Communications joins us. It's always a great pleasure to have her with us, and Sky News contributor Joe Hildebrand. Welcome to you both.
Friend.
Now, Gemma, I want to tap into your talent in advising people what they should do. Have a look at Kellie Sloane arriving at State Parliament this morning, and there she is in her $120,000 Tesla, I'm guessing. It's probably now only worth about half that. And she holds the seat of Vaucluse. Good on her. But that's, what do you think? Good look, bad look?
I think it's going to become an irrelevant look, and I'll tell you why. I think, and also I can confirm that I did my dough on my Tesla, and getting rid of it was the happiest day of my life. But back to Kellie Sloane. Woman's allowed to drive a car. Woman's allowed to drive an EV. I mean, you know, Zali Steggall's banging around the lower North Shore and the northern beaches in a gas-guzzling Pajero while telling the world that we all have to eat bugs and stop flying in planes. So let's not pretend that voters would really be fixated on something like that. Kellie Sloane is not a politician. I think she's a former journo, isn't she? I think
yep, TV.
What will be important for her is to show that authenticity, obviously, but that she actually stands for something, that she can prosecute an argument, that she can relate to the middle, which, as we know in Australia, all elections are won in the middle. And I have to say, like Mark Speakman stepping down is the first thing that I've seen him do since I moved to Sydney 3.5 years ago. Even when before he was, you know, I think he was in, you know, a minister in the Perrottet government. I haven't seen him do anything until he stepped down this week. So, you know, as a Liberal voter, as a conviction Conservative voter, I'm hopeful that she will be able to take the pulse of the electorate and take it up to who is a very capable and popular Premier in Chris Minns. And I don't personally care that she has a uterus. What I care about is she capable? Is she competent? Can she lead? And can she, you know, respectfully put a stop to the BS backroom infighting that has characterised the New South Wales Liberal Party for time immemorial? You know, the people in the back rooms who are too gutless to show their faces and like to think of themselves as puppet masters.
Joe, if you take the S out of the word Tesla and rearrange the last two letters, you get Teal. That's what worries me about these new Liberal women. They look like Teals.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, and they have to, mate, because
they do.
There are 4 federal Teal seats in New South Wales, way more than any other state. One went back in Victoria, one was picked up in New South Wales. And if that happens at a state level, at a state election, the New South Wales Liberals will be even more royally screwed than they already are. So the first thing that Kellie Sloane has to project, and it's a very smart move, I think, is that she basically is a Teal. She is a moderate Liberal. The New South Wales Libs, unlike their other state counterparts and now federal counterparts, are very pro-action on climate change. It is, after all, the domain of Matt Keane, and I don't want to trigger anyone by mentioning that name on the air.
Please.
But this is the nature of the party, and I think that the real problem that Mark Speakman had, as Gemma said, wasn't really that he was a moderate. It was just that he had absolutely no cut-through whatsoever. He wasn't able to draw any blood from the government, from either the left or the right.
There? Was he there, or was it just a laminated head?
Most cannot confirm nor deny. I think you'd have to find a photo of him holding a picture of today's newspaper, wouldn't you, to confirm proof of life?
Most people in Australia would have no clue who he was. I want to talk about your ABC, Joe. Dumped Glenn McGrath, one of our legendary fast bowlers, because he's got some link with Bet365. I mean, they're being a bit precious, aren't they? I mean, it's not as if he's going on the ABC on day one of the Ashes Test and telling everyone to have a bet.
Well, from what I could gather from the great ABC flagship program, Media Watch, Pricey, the ABC's last flirtation with big online betting agencies was when one of their star Four Corners reporters decided to do a side project and a podcast with someone that was funded by some mysterious gambling company that they apparently did not know about. So I suspect this has something to do with that. And I think it's very unfair that Glenn McGrath, who I'm assuming has done absolutely nothing wrong. I'm assuming that, gambling is legal in Australia, whether you like it or not. Betting companies are legal in Australia, whether you like it or not. And if they have an association with him or him, them, and it's all completely above board, and he's just doing his thing with the ABC, not as an employee, obviously, but as a contractor, I don't understand why there would be the slightest problem with it. Is the ABC going to go through every other external contractor's commercial links and anything they disapprove of? They're going to scrub them from the screens. I think this is the ABC running for cover from its own stuff up with the our young man on the street from Four Corners.
Gemma, it's interesting because the Albanese government are trying to use the social media changes for under 16s as some sort of cover to have no changes to online betting. I mean, there was that huge argument about, how much online betting advertising there should be. Anthony Albanese, who's, quite close to Peter V'landys, and rugby league takes a lot of money from online betting, they seem to be backsliding on that at a very rapid rate.
Well, as Joe just said, betting is legal in this country. I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't have to do it. No one's making me do it. I think the betting industry aggressively, whether you like it or not, aggressively targets younger people. I've never known so many, my friends with children, young men, like late teenagers and early 20s, and a lot of them have betting apps on their phone. And to me, it's a bit of a moment of head explosion. It's just something that we didn't do in my generation. And without sounding like a old lady shaking her fist at the sky, it is cause for concern because it's aggressively targeting them. But you got to pick a horse and ride it. It's legal and you manage it, or it's not legal and you outlaw it. But back to Joe's point and the previous point about the ABC and this whole thing with Glenn McGrath, I mean, it's so curious. The ABC that has done nothing about Chris Kenny's excellent reporting on the Trump vision from the Four Corners report there. And they've done nothing either about, like, in terms of holding anyone to account about the Heston Russell stuff and that, that audio that was inserted,
That's a great point. I mean, they should have done that. Chris Kenny has done an absolute outstanding job.
They're hypocrites.
Gemma, Joe, always great to catch up with you both. Have a great weekend. Watch the cricket.